welcome along guys, cheers for tuning in. So GT3 BOP Test, the reason you've all tuned in to the video, we want to find out which is the best car for the upcoming 2023 season 1 in the GT3 series in iRacing. So the test, 5 laps around Silverstone in each car. We've got an out lap and we've got 4 fly-in laps. I'm going to take the top speed, the best time. I'm going to give the cars a rating in terms of handling, which one I think handles the best. And we're also going to look at the tyre wear. This is a big deal this season as people are talking about having to change the tyres during the pit stop. It's going to bring a lot of strategy into these races, which is really good. I'm really looking forward to it. But I would like to get a little bit of a head start on which one is best. Hopefully you guys will get some value out of this as well. If you do us a huge favour, hit that like button before we go. If you're not yet subscribing to the channel, and obviously you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing as well. So yeah, no messing about. Let's go. Right then, so we're on board now. What you're going to see on your screen is the fastest lap that I was able to achieve across the 4 laps, the highest speed that I was able to achieve in the test, and also the tyre wear for each tyre after the test was completed. Pause the video at any moment if it's going a little bit too quick, and then at the end of the video we're going to rank these in order from worst to best.
Sector 2 is 0.37 off your best. That was a 201.59. Sector 1 time is good. Sector 2 time is okay. Sector 1 is quick. Sector 2 time is quick. Sector 1 is a tenth off your best. Sector 2 time is quick.
Right then, there we go. What do you think of that then? So, a couple of things I want to explain straight away. Obviously, this is just me driving the car. It's going to be different for other people. Now, I did try to be as consistent and as fair as I could, but as you can see from the times, they are a little bit inconsistent, and that is down to the fact that I have more time driving some of these than I do others. So, in terms of how I've ranked them and what I've got in front of me, you'll have to forgive me for referring to my notes here, but I'm going to go from worst to best in terms of lap times. I'm going to go from the worst to best in terms of tyre wear, and I'm going to then give you the worst to best in terms of my opinion on how the car drives. So, in terms of, let's have a look. we'll go slowest to fastest first. So the slowest one, looking at this, is the Mercedes. Then the Ford and the 911, you will have noticed, had exactly the same time. Then we've got the McLaren, then the Audi, the Lambo, the BMW, and the 488 Evo coming in the fastest, comfortably the fastest as well. Now, that was the thing that I referred to being a little bit disappointing, because I hate driving the Ferrari. I really do hate it. There's nothing there. There's absolutely no feel in that feedback. But I'm sure with a couple of tweaks on the True Drive software, making some adjustments, I can remedy that, hopefully. Then we have the tyre wear. Now, this one was interesting because the car that I'm the most comfortable in, which is the BMW, I've driven that the most out of all the GT3s, and that's come in last in terms of tyre wear. Now, that I put that down to how much I will push that car, how confident I am pushing that car, and I think I've took that car to the limit more than the others. So that's what I think about that. BMW last, Audi, Ford, 911, Lambo, Mercedes, Ferrari, and the McLaren coming in number one on tyre wear. That is probably because I've driven the whole thing like that, because I'm absolutely terrified of the thing. It killed me the most in that test. I think we ended up crashing 3 or 4 times in the McLaren. But it has potential. If somebody could tune that out, that could be a very quick car this season. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Then, this one is how I think the car feels, and I've ranked them in order here. So, last, this was very surprising. The Mercedes, awful. Feels absolutely awful. Obviously, these are all on baseline setups, I forgot to mention. The Mercedes feels absolutely awful. So, the Mercedes comes in last. Then we've got the Ford, then the Audi. Now, the Audi would have been up there, but it still has that lift-off mentalness where it just wants to kill you when you're off the throttle. Now, some people can deal with that. In terms of in a race, I would find myself off throttle quite a lot of the time at unexpected moments. If there's something happening ahead and I might have to lift, or somebody checks up in front of me and I might have to lift, I don't want to have to worry about that in a race. So it's way down there towards the back. I never drive the Ford anyway, so that's why that's behind it. Then we've got the 911. Feels great, but it's just slow in my hands. Very quick last season, but it's slow in my hands this time. Then the McLaren. As much as it tries to kill me, I do like driving that car. I really do. Then we've got the Lamborghini. Now, previously, I could never get the Lamborghini to turn in. I couldn't get any grip on the front end. It just didn't want to turn in for me. And I think that's down to my driving style. I tend to favour front-engined cars like the BMW and the Mercedes. But really surprised me, the Lamborghini there. So that's why that's up in third. The Ferrari coming in second there because of the crazy pace that it did, and the tyre wear very good as well. And then the BMW coming out on top for me, just because I think it feels the best of all the GT3 cars. The feedback at the pace that I'm able to get from that car, probably, like I said, because I've spent more time in it than anything else. That's why that one comes in there. So that is how I would rank them. Obviously, you guys will be different. Everyone will be different there on how confident they are in different cars. The next thing then that I've got written down in my notes down here is just a couple of things that I've noticed along the way, and I think it's worth mentioning them in case anybody's interested. So the Ferrari has to be the best overall car based on tyre wear, based on pace. I think it's going to be very strong this season. Like I say, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I think I'll get over it. I'll do a few tweaks, and I think I'll be able to start enjoying driving that car again, hopefully. It just feels a little bit like the tyre wear is good. The main positive from the Ferrari is it's excellent on the change of direction. So through Maggots and Beckett's there, Silverstone, it just felt planted more than anything else. The BMW felt planted as well, but a little bit more understeer in the BMW. So again, I've wrote down here the best feel for the BMW. It does feel weighty and planted, understeery on the direction change, like I've said there. Feels safe, predictable. So that's why I tend to favour the BMW. For me, I'd rather finish a race, stay safe, so predictable. The Lambo I've put here was the biggest surprise, probably because, like I mentioned, I've never been able to drive it before. That came out pretty good. Front end goes where it's told this time, decent tyre wear, and again predictable. The Audi, a good weight to it in terms of the force feedback. It feels sharp on the direction change, but it still wants to kill you off throttle, which is a major problem for me on that one. The McLaren, best tyre wear, really good force feedback, but you just can't trust it at high speed. So again, is it worth the risk? If somebody can tune that out, yes. We'll see at Monza. I think week 1 are we at Monza? I think we are. We'll see. We'll see how many people are in it there. The Porsche, really good weight on the feedback as well. Good change of direction, but again, it just feels slow in my hands. I just can't get away with it. And then the Mercedes I've put here feels like a tank. Constant corrections, and the change of direction was horrible. But yeah, it's probably me. It's probably my driving style. I've already seen a few people saying that is very strong. So we'll see. Weirdly, the Ford GT, 9 kilometers per hour slower than most of these cars, yet still able to put a decent lap time in. So that was surprising. So yeah, take all of this with a pinch of salt. It's just one person's opinions, I suppose, but hopefully you get some value from the video. If you do, or you'd like to ask any questions, let me know in the comments. But yeah, there we go. Look forward to a very interesting season, so fingers crossed. It's really enjoyable. So before you go, give us a like. Really appreciate that. If you're doing me a huge favour. And if you're not yet subscribing to the channel, and obviously you like this sort of content, then please consider clicking that button down there. Right, cheers guys. See you on the next one.